is not yet sworn.
Yeah, so the witness in.
Please state your name and your surname for the record.
I'm Joe Martin Naila.
Do you have any objection to taking the prescribed oath?
No, my lord.
Do you feel that the oath is binding on your conscience?
Yes, my lord.
If what you are going to say in your evidence is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, then raise your hand and say, so help me God.
So help me God.
So sworn, my lord.
Yes.
Is it correct that you are a captain in the South African Police?
That's correct, my lord.
Uyavuma ukuthi ukapteni esiphoyiseni saseMzansi Afrika.
To which office are you currently attached?
I'm attached to the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigations.
Uthi usebenzela ku Directorate yamacala ayikuthi anikwe ukuthi abhekisiswe.
To which section?
Serious Corruption Investigations.
Kumacala ayikuthi likhuni kakhulu serious.
How many years service do you have in the South African Police?
18 years, my lord.
Usekane minyaka eyishumi nasithupha eyishumi nesishiyagalombili kulibele kuyiphoyisa.
Can you just briefly put your career history on record?
I completed my basic training in 2005.
Uqede ukuqeqeshwa ngo-2005.
And then I had 3 years in the uniform branch.
Wasebenza iminyaka emithathu belibele bagqoka i-uniform.
And then in 2009, I joined the detective services.
Ngo-2009 wangena ke kwaba detective
where I was working in the Sedibeng district.
esebenza e-district yase-Sedibeng.
Then in 2016, I went to the provincial detective services.
Ngo-2016 waya kubo detective be-province.
Then when 2018, I went to the Directorate for Priority Crime Services.
Ngo-2018 kulayi ukuthi wangena la sekasebenza manje.
That is where I'm currently still at.
Usasebenza lapho namanje.
On the 5th of June 2020, were you on duty?
That's correct, my lord.
Uthi ngeyi-5 zika-June ngo-2020 wayekade semsebenzini.
And what type of duties were you performing on the day?
During that time, it was during COVID, and we were on a task team to investigate the COVID-19 offenses.
Ngaleso sikhathi bekade kuyisikhathi salo yabhubhane le COVID-19 bona bebakade beyingxenye yeqembu ebelikade liphenya amacala abekade ayenzakala ngaleso sikhathi.
Just want to show you a document. It's Exhibit GG. It's a pro forma for pointings out, in particular page 11 thereof, where certain particulars appear.
Uyaboniswa ke iphepha ukuthi bekade kunokhomba khona lapho ukuthi kunezinto ezivelayo kuyo.
Okay, can you just put that on record?
I confirm the correctness of the contents.
Uthi uyavuma into ebhalwe lapho.
Just put them on record.
Please read them.
On the above, it reads Force Laura's case 636 of 10/2024 A142.
Uthi ke ibhalwe ukuthi leliyaqala le Phosphorus 636 A142.
And it writes, note down the following information.
Yona ithi beka lolu lwazi olulandelayo.
Vehicle,
Imoto,
SAP number,
inombolo yakhona yesiphoyisa,
BVL,
iBVL
755 Bravo,
755B.
University kilometer readings,
Amakhilometer wakhona asho ethi 806 52.
The driver,
Umshayeli wayo,
warrant officer Naila.
warrant officer Nailana.
Passenger left front,
Umuntu bekade ehleli ngakwisandla sesinxele,
Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe.
Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe.
Each passenger at the right back,
umuntu bekahle ehleli emuva
On the right back, no one.
bekungena muntu ohleli emuva kuleyo moto.
Passenger left back,
Umuntu obekade ehleli emuva kwihlangothi lesandla sesinxele
muzika ukhulelwa,
bekunomuzika ukhulelwa
Themba Sibiya.
Themba Sibiya.
Name of photographer,
Umuntu owathatha izithombe
Sergeant Maphakela.
uSergeant Maphakela.
Depart from Alberton SAPS,
Kwasukwa ke kusukela eAlbertine esiphoyiseni.
date returned,
Idate kubuyiwe nini?
2020
Babuye ngo-2020
of 6
ngonyanga yesithupha
of 5.
ngelanga lesihlanu.
Time returned,
Kubuyiwe ngobani isikhathi?
13:30.
Uthi beku-13:30.
Issue nama kilometer readings,
Amakhilomitha uma ebalwa ke ngaleso sikhathi mababuya
that's 806
beku-806
90.
90.
Now, the driver referred to in this document, who is it?
It was myself, my lord.
Umshayeli lo kukhulunywa ngayo kuleli phepha ubani uthi bekuyimi inkosi yenkantolo.
I just want to show you photos 8 up to 11 of exhibit GG1.
Manje ke bafuna ukumbonisa izithombe ukuthi zathwebulwa lapho.
Do you remember those photos?
I do, my lord.
Tusazikhumbula
Yes.
lezo izithombe.
Do you remember this particular incident?
Yes, I do. Yosho.
Lolu daba okukhulunywa ngalo usalikhumbula na uthi yebo ngiyalikhumbula inkosi yenkantolo.
Can you just give a background of what happened on the day in question?
On that particular date, being the 5th of 6, 2020, I was on duty.
Akusichazisele ke ukuthi kwayenzakalani uthi ngalelo langa lenyanga yesithupha nge5 ku2020 bengisemsebenzini
Somewhere between 9 and 11 a.m.
phakathi kwehora lesishaka lolunye nehora le11.
I received a call from my commander, the retired Colonel Mohlami.
Ngathola ucingo kusuka kukhomanda wami osekayekile emsebenzini uKolonel Mhlami.
He instructed me to go and assist with the pointing out at Albert SAPS.
Ethi kimi ngiye ngiyosiza ngokuyokhomba esiphoyiseni sase-Albert.
Just a minute. Yes.
And he was clear on that instruction that on that particular exercise, I was just going to be the driver.
Uthi ke uye wamtshela ke ukuthi ngalelo langa kulowo msebenzi wena uyoshayela kuphela.
Yes.
I did drive and proceed to Alberton SAPS.
Ngayenza njalo ngashayela imoto ngaya esiphoyiseni sase-Albertine.
Yes.
Upon arrival at SAPS of Alberton, I parked the vehicle at the parking site at the cells.
Ithema ngifika khona lapho ngapaka imoto ngaseduze kwamasel.
Yes.
And Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe approached me.
Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe weza kimi
He introduced himself
wafika wazazisa
by producing his appointment certificate.
wakhipha ke incwadi yakhe ebeyibonisa ukuthi ubhalisiwe.
He then introduced another gentleman,
Ngazisa futhi komunye umlisa
what he was Sergeant Maphakela.
wathi lo mlisa uSergeant Maphakela.
And he was assigned to take photos during the pointing out.
Yena ke uMaphakela umsebenzi wakhe bekuthwebula izithombe njengoba bekukhonjwa kanjalo.
There was another gentleman,
Bekunomunye umlisa
he was handcuffed, that particular person.
obekade efasiwe.
He did not introduce him to me.
Azange ke bangazise yena lo mlisa bekafasiwe.
But he just informed me that he's the one that is going to do the pointing out.
Kula ngiye ngatshelwa nje ukuthi lo mlisa oboshiwe uye oyokhomba.
You can use Exhibit GG1 to illustrate your evidence.
Yeah, as you see on that photo number 8, I'm standing at the driver's door.
Njengoba ubona ke kulesithombe sathwebula isithombe sesishakalombini mina ngime ngakwihlangothi le umshayeli.
There's a guy wearing a mask at the back,
Kunomlisa ofake isifonyo emuva
wearing a black tracksuit.
egqoke i-tracksuit emnyama.
That is the guy that was handcuffed.
Yiyo ke insizwa lebekade ifasiwe.
He is standing at the back.
Lensizwa ime emuva.
Colonel Khadebe is standing right on the left side, there as a passenger.
uKenneth Khadebe umile naye ngakwihlangothi lesandla sesinxele njengomuntu obekade engashayeli.
And when you look at photo 9,
Uma ubheka isithombe esesishaka lolunye
that is the one that shows exactly the position that the guy was shown to sit at the back of the state vehicle that I was going to drive.
kulake ikuthi kuyaboniswa lomlisa ukuthi yena wayekade ezohlala kanjani emuva kule moto ebengikade ngiyishayela.
Then that is also the picture of Lieutenant Khadebe at the front.
Futhi no Lieutenant Khadebe uyabonakala khona lapho phambili.
Yes.
At this stage, that is where I overheard Lieutenant Colonel Khadebe.
Ngaleso sikhathi kula ngiyengezwa uLieutenant Colonel Khadebe
He was asking this particular person
bekabuza lomlisa lo
if he's still sure that he wants to proceed with this pointing out.
embuza ukuthi unesiqiniseko na ndoda sokuthi usafuna ukuqhubeka uyokhomba.
And then that is when we left.
Kula sahamba khona.
Did he respond?
Uye waphendula lomlisa
Yeah, the guy responded, he said, that is okay. Singaqhubeka siyenze.
uthe yebo le ndoda iye yaphendula yathi kulungile singaqhubeka siyoyenza, that is okay, we may proceed and do it.
And before that, the guy also indicated to Lieutenant Colonel Khadebe
Lensizwa ngaphambi kokuthi siyenze njalo uye washo uKenneth Khadebe lamazwi alandelayo
he said he does not know the area of Albertine,
uthe indawo yase-Albertine akayazi,
so he cannot direct us from Albertine to Vosloorus.
ngeke akwazi ukusihambisa kusuka e-Albertine ukuya e-Vosloorus.
Then he got inside the vehicle.
Wangena ke phakathi kwemoto.
Yes, he can't direct you from Albertine to
Vosloorus.
So what was supposed to happen?
He said if we can just get him to the area of Vosloorus,
Uthe ke uma singangena saya emgaqweni saya endaweni yase-Vosloorus
he will be able to direct us further.
uzokwazi ke ukuthi asibonise indlela.
That is then I drove out of the SAPS and headed to Vosloorus via N3.
Bula ke iphoyisa liye lashayela imoto laphuma esiphoyiseni langena kumgwaqo u-N3.
Yes.
As we were approaching Vosloorus, at I'll say the entrance of Vosloorus,
Ithe masisondela ngase-Vosloorus la i-Vosloorus singena khona
I informed Lieutenant Colonel Khadebe that we have arrived at Vosloorus.
ngatshela ke uLieutenant Khadebe ukuthi sesifikile e-Vosloorus.
That is when Lieutenant Colonel Khadebe informed the suspect.
Kula ke uLieutenant Colonel Khadebe watshela lo mlisa lo ukuthi sesifikile.
That is when he also said, no, if you are not sure, singabuyele move.
Kula ikuthi uLieutenant Khadebe wathi kule ndoda le uma ingabe awunaso isiqiniseko singabuyela emuva, if you are not sure we may go back
Ukuthi singamoshi isikhathi.
so that we do not waste time.
And wamu-informa ngekele ukuthi he informed him in such a way that it also covered his constitutional right.
Uma xwayisa ngaleyo ndlela ubekade evikela namalungelo wakhe lomlisa obekaboshiwe.
The guy understood,
Lomlisa wazwisisa
and then he said, I can proceed. He informed Lieutenant Colonel that we can proceed.
watshela ke uLieutenant Colonel ukuthi singaqhubeka.
He will tell Lieutenant Colonel that turn right as I was driving.
Njengoba bengishayela imoto lomlisa bekatshela uLieutenant Colonel ukuthi sijike ngakwihlangothi lo sandla sokudla.
then I will do so.
ngiyenze njalo mina ngishayela imoto ngakule ndlela ebangitshela ngayo.
And he will give further instruction or direction to Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe.
Aqhubeke atshele uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe ukuthi siye ngakuphi.
And then when he see the place that he wants to do the pointing out.
As a court pleases.
Okay.
Is it correct that the process was then conducted and finalized? The process was then conducted and finalized.
That's correct, Your Lord.
Iyabuza ke umshushisi ukuthi iqiniso ke ukuthi niye nayenza kanjalo bese kwaqedwa uthi yebo iqiniso.
Yes. After the process was finalized, what happened? After the pointings out?
After the pointing out, then we will drive back to SAPS Alberton.
Ngemva kokuthi sekuqediwe ke kuye kwayenzakalani uthi siye sashayela imoto sabuyela emuva eAlberton.
Upon arrival at the SAPS Alberton,
Uma sifika ke esiphoyiseni sase-Alberton
we'll get off the vehicle.
siye sahlika emotweni
Then the photographer will take the photos again.
umlisa lo bekathwebula iy'thombe wathwebula futhi.
And then that is when Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe again spoke to the guy. That
Kula ukuthi uLieutenant Hadebe wakhuluma naye futhi lo yamlisa.
he was asking him if the manner in which the pointing out was correct, and he was satisfied with the pointing out procedure.
Ebuza umlisa lo yana ukuthi ngale ndlela eyikuthi kusetshenzwe ngayo njengoba bekuyokhonjwa bekuyile ndlela ebekade ilungile na.
Yes.
My observation as the guy, the suspect was to go back to the cells was that prior to the pointing out,
Into engiye ngayibona njengoba lo mlisa besisekabuyela emuva emaselini ngaphambi kokuthi kuyokhonjwa mangimbheka
he was still calm
yena bekade kuumuntu okhululekile
and he was cooperative.
futhi bekasebenzisana nathi.
And I did not interact with him in any manner.
Mina angizange ke ngikhulume naye noma ngiyenze enye into kuye
Because I was not part of the investigation.
ngoba bengingasi omunye wabantu abaphenyayo kuleli licala
And I did not have the merits of the case.
futhi bengingazi lutho ngecala.
Now, was there any escort during the pointings out?
We did have a security detail, my lord.
Beyikhona na imoto ebekade inlandelela ebekade isemva kwenu uthi yebo bikhona
Yes, from where?
Those guys were from the EMPD,
uthi imoto ebe ikhona beyibuya kwi-metropolis yase Ekurhuleni i-EMPD
marked SWAT.
imat SWAT beyibhalwe kanjalo eceleni.
Oh, what I can say about those officers is that also I did not interact with them.
Uthi ke into angayisho yena ukuthi nalaba abase EMPD nabo akazange akhulumisane nabo noma ahlangane nabo.
And at no stage were they very close to us so that we can interact.
Nabo lawo maphoyisa wase EMPD abazange basondele kubo ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi bakhulumisane.
And during the pointings out, did you see them?
Even during the pointing out, my lord, these guys they did not come near us.
Uthi ke manje ngalesiya sikhathi kukhonjwa uye wababona uthi nangaleso sikhathi abazange basondele kithi.
God, please, my Lord, thank you. That is all.
Yes, Mr. Amazolo.
Of course, Mrs. Marriott. So, that motor vehicle just gave description of it. Does it have GPS?
The one that I was driving, my lord,
Yes. On that day,
all the state vehicles that are fitted with an AVL.
do you have the GPS?
No, not in the vehicle.
Kuthiwa ke le moto le bewukade uyishayela inayo na i-GPS le abanye banokuyibiza bathi navigate uthi hayi kule moto bengihamba.
Does it have the headdressers?
The what?
The hairdressers on the seat.
That's correct.
uthi inayo na lento le umuntu akwazi ukuthi ancike kuyo uthi yebo ikhona.
You say accused number 1 was seated on the, was it on the extreme left
That's correct, my
at
lord.
the back?
Uthi yebo ngiyavuma ukuthi umangalelo wokuqala wayekade ehleli kwisandla sesinxele emuva.
At any stage did accused number 1 was seated in the middle, in between the two seats, in between the two front seats?
No, your lord.
Uthi sikhona isikhathi na la umangalelo wokuqala bekade ehleli phakathi kwendawo elibele esemuva phakathi kwale ihlalo lezi ezimbini ezangaphambili uthi cha.
As he was seated at the back, and Colonel Khadebe,
Hadel.
yes, seated in front of him, was he in a better position to see the road?
That's correct.
Njengoba bekahleli emuva uKenneth Hadebe ehleli phambili ubekade khona na umangalelo wokuqala ukubona indlela uthi yebo wayekade khona.
Do you know from which point, on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side of that position?
He was leaning more towards the window as he was sitting at the back, looking at the side.
Uthi ke uyazi ukuthi indlela wayekade eyibona kanjani uthi Phoyisa wayekade ehlelele ngase sangweni ngase fastereni elibele ebheke phambili.
So in that case, you were so attentive to the position that accused number 1 was seated on.
That's correct, my lord. I have to be attentive.
Uthi bokade umbheke uxwaye kanjalo ngalendlela umangalelo wokuqala bekahleli ngakhona uthi yebo Nkosi yenkantolo kwamele ngibe ngixwaye ngalendlela ehleli ngakhona.
All right. So you said you never interacted with you from you from the departure until you arrived.
That's correct, my lord.
Uthi angizange ngikhulume naye kusukela sisuka fikela size sifika la siya khona.
But at all times you could hear him when he's giving directions, as you have testified to Colonel Khadebe.
That's correct, my lord.
Kodwa sonke lesikhathi bowulibele umuzwa uma libele nihamba alibela khuluma noKenneth Hadebe uthi yebo Nkosi yenkantolo.
Okay. Now we are leaving Albertine. You know the direction from Albertine police station to the on-ramp of N3.
That's correct.
Seniphuma manje ngeAlbertine uyayazi indlela esuka eAlbertine ezonifaka laphayana kwi-on ramp uthi yebo ngiyayazi.
Which side did you join N3 from Albertine?
We are going as from Albertine, then when you join it on the left.
Manje
Then you proceed to the east.
i-N3 ningene ngakuphi uma nisuka ngase Albertine uthi siye saqhubeka sayingena ngakwisandla sokusesinxele ngakula eMpumalanga.
All right. Now we are on ramping towards Heidelberg direction.
That's correct.
Kusho ukuthi bese seniya ngase Heidelberg uthi yebo.
From where you on ramp, which is the off ramp that you took before you reach a place where you said you are in Vosloorus? Which off ramp did you take?
The one that says Berry Road.
Uthi eyiphi i-on ramp eniyayithatha njengoba ummangalelwa egcine sekathi sesefosloras uthi ile ethi Berry Road.
Are you familiar with that place?
I know Vosloorus. I can't say I'm familiar because
Sorry?
I know how to go from Albertine into Vosloorus. I'm not familiar with the area of Vosloorus especially.
Umeli uyabuza ukuthi uyayazi na leyo ndawo uthi iVosloorus ngiyayazi ngeke ngithi ngijwayele kodwa ukusuka eAlbertine ukuya eVosloorus ngiyakwazi ukuthi
All
ngifuna
right.
kanjani.
After you off ramped, the traffic control intersection, Does it involve or does it entail the robots or a stop sign? The Berry Road where you off rent, is it a stop sign or
There is a robot.
Sorry?
There is a robot.
Uthi lo mgwaqo lo okhuluma ngayo uBerry Road kune stop sign phambili noma kunama robot? Which kunama robot?
Which direction did you turn?
You turn right.
Baye bajikela ke ngakwisandla sokudla.
All right. Before I proceed on that one, is it a cross or a T-junction, sorry. Is it a cross or a T-junction where you turn right?
When you turn right,
Yes.
it's a T-junction.
La ufike khona yini indlela ziyadlulana noma kuyi T junction uthi I T junction?
Yes, let's proceed. What do you pass first before you?
You will must pass underneath the main road.
Uthi ke udlulani ke uthi sizoba ngaphansi komgwaqo lo ophezulu.
So you had to pass the bridge. Is that what you say?
And yes,
Uthi yebo likhona ibroho khona lapha esiye saldlula.
Soon thereafter you pass the bridge, there is a robot. You agree?
that's correct.
Ngemva kokuthi sidlulele liya broho kune robot uthi yebo likhona.
On the left hand side, it's a taxi rank. Do you agree? On the left hand side, after you've passed the first robot, it's a taxi rank.
I don't
agree?
agree. I don't agree.
Uthi ngakwisandla sesinxele maqeda ukudlula liya broho kune taxi rank uthi cha angivumi.
Okay. How many robots that you've passed after you passed the bridge?
I can't recall, my lord.
Nidlula
I was
ama robot
being
ayingaki?
directed.
Ngemva kokuthi nidlulele liya broho uthi angeke ngikwazi ukukhumbula ngoba bengikade ngitshelwa ukuthi ngiye kuphi.
All right, let me just put it to you that as soon as you pass the bridge towards the first robot, there's a taxi rank on your left-hand side, just for your information, but that is not relevant. Let's just proceed. Now you entered Vosloorus. Did you reach or did you come to another robot after you passed the first robot?
My lord, as I indicated, I was being directed. So I will not really remember if we turned before or what.
Uthi ke ulwazi lwakho nje sohlabela mgama nangokho wena ungavumi le ndaba ye taxi ranking ngiyakutshela ukuthi ikhona I taxi rank umbuza nokuthi nidlula ama robot ayingakho uthi njengoba bengisese ngishilo Nkosi yenkantolo bengitshelwa ukuthi ngiqhubeke ngiye kuphi.
Now, I'm still on that line where you were informed by Colonel Khatem. But you were the driver, you were attentive, you pay attention to what you were doing, and you knew that you would be called to testify one day.
That's correct, my lord.
Uthi yebo iqiniso mina bengikade ngixwayile futhi bengumshayeli bengazi nokuthi ngizobizwa ngelinye ilanga ukuthi ngizophana ngobufakazi.
For the benefit of your evidence, I know the place you're talking about. When you reach the second robot, what is on your left-hand side? Oh, sorry, when you pass the second, upon arriving at the second robot, where did you turn? Or what were you told to do or to go?
My lord, as I've indicated, my position on that day was to drive, not to count how many tents, how many robots, what is the tree or what is the thing.
Uthi ke ummeli ngicela ukukunika ulwazi ukuthi leyo ndawo ngiyayazi. Ithe maniqeda ukudlula ke irobot nina niyena jika kuphi uthi mina umsebenzi wami bekukushayela ngalelo langa akusukuthi bekwamele ngibheke ihlahla noma ukuthi sidulani kwamele ngishayele nje ngiye la ngitshelwa khona ukuthi ngiqhubeke ngiye khona.
Sir, I disagree with you. You drove from Albertine without being informed. That was part of your duties. You arrived at Vosloorus, you were informed. I just want to, because the evidence that accused number one is going to say, he never gave directions to the driver. Neither Colonel Khade. I want you to lead this court as to, at the entrance of Vosloorus, which direction did you take?
My Lord, as I indicated, the accused did mention that he's not familiar with the place. If we can drive him until the entrance of Vosloorus, that is what I did.
Correct.
uthi-ke mina njengoba sengichazile ukuthi ummangalelwa yena uthe akayazi leya ndawo kusuka e-Albertine ukuyofika eVosloorus, kodwa uma singamtshela uma sesifike eVosloorus kulayo ukuthi uzokwazi ukuthi asiyise, ngoba ummeli uthi ummangalelwa yena uzokhika ukuthi yena wayekade elibele ebatshela ukuthi jikani la nijike la, uthi yena akazange akwenze lokho.
Now you are at the entrance where he said, according to you, if you can take me to Vosloorus, I'll be able to direct you. We are in that spot now. Tell us what accused said, because you could better hear him when he was conversing with Colonel Khade.
That's correct, my Lord. From that point, that is when the accused is telling Lieutenant Colonel Ngakube Gambani straight.
Uthi-ke kulaye ukuthi ummangalelwa-ke ithema sesesifika la besithe kuseVosloorus uye wathi ningaqhubeka hambani straight. You may proceed straight, my lord.
Proceed. Yeah. You proceeded, yes.
From there, that is when he started telling Lieutenant Colonel Radebe, turn left, turn right, until we reach a spot where he will say stop.
Uthi kusukela lapho-ke kulaye ukuthi uye waqala etshela uLieutenant Hadebe ukuthi jikani ngapha, jikani nangapha, ufikela size sifike la athe sime.
So in other words, are you telling this court that you cannot vividly recall the directions that was given by Colonel Khadebe by accused number 1?
Correct, my Lord. Even today, I can't take you to that house.
Manje uthi wena awukwazi ukuthi ukhumbule le ndlela eyukuthi ummangalelwa wayekade eyitshela uColonel Hadebe kufikela nize nifike kule yanto, uthi nanamuhla ngeke ngikwazi ukubuyisa kuleyo nkosi enkantolo.
My Lord, may I consult with my...
Yes.
My Lord, okay, say, I'll just put it to you, and that when Colonel Khadebe tendered his evidence, he never, just like you, precisely gave this court the directions that you say accused number 1 gave you. Just like you. You could not precisely say, he said turn right after 100 meters, you turn left at the stop sign, you drive over the off-ramp. He never gave such directions.
My Lord, are you referring from the point of Albertine until the stop sign or from?
No, I'm referring to the entrance, from the entrance of Vosloorus. As we have just indicated before this court that you cannot recall the turns that accused number 1 said you must make. I'm putting to you that is the same evidence that Colonel Khadebe tendered before this court, that there is no precise recalling of turning, but accused number 1 took them to a particular place.
Well, I wasn't there, but I believe what you're telling me, my Lord.
Uthi-ke ngifuna ukukutshela-ke ukuthi ubufakazi buka Hadebe bufana ncamashi nobaba, la ukuthi awuzanye wena usho ukuthi ummangalelwa uthe sijikela no Hadebe naye akakwazanga ukuthi atshele inkantolo ukuthi ummangalelwa uthe sijikela uthe naye akasakhumbuli njengawe usho namuhla ukuthi awusakhumbuli.
All right, you arrived at the destination where you said, so okay, let's not get into the part of, is there any place you had to drive to in Vosloorus before you drove back to Albertine? Did you have to go somewhere else?
Negative, my lord.
khona enye indawo ekuthi niyena kwamele ukuthi niye kuyo ngaphambi kokuthi nibuyele eAlbertine njengoba benise Phosphorus uthi cha.
So if it's negative, I want to be precise with that answer. If it's negative, you mean accused number 2 never directed you to another place other than the place where?
My lord, the accused took us to 2 places in Phosphorus.
Uthi ke
Only 2.
umsolwa njengoba uthi ayikho enye indawo umsolwa akazange anise kwenye indawo uthi usise kwindawo ezimbini ePhosphorus.
All right. I don't want you to mention that particular place, but it was a particular place. Is it the first place that you went to? Amongst these 2 places.
I'm confused.
Can council maybe be more specific?
We avoided to mention the particulars of, I think it's one of the redacted parts of the evidence. Hence, the court assisted me in terms of using the word particular place than crime scene. I'm referring to the place, the particular place. I would say the crime scene. Which place did he take you to first? And the other place you did not even mention, what place is it?
My lord, the accused took us to a street where there are houses.
Yes.
And you must remember, during the pointing out, my duty as a driver, I sit inside the vehicle. They got out, he pointed a specific place in front of a house. Then we went to an open space. That was the second point that he pointed.
Manje ke Nkosi yenkantolo ummangalelwa yena usise kwindawo ezimbini ungakhohlwa ukuthi mina njengomshayeli umsebenzi wami ukushayela uma bephuma mina ngihlele emotweni baye baphuma baya ngaseduze kwenye indlu ethize ulaye ukuthi babuya mayiqeda wasihambisa wasisa esidlangalaleni.
In that open area, it doesn't have structures, buildings. What do you mean about open area?
That open area is next to the hostels.
Le ndawo le ngikhuluma ngayo esibini iseduze nehostel.
Okay. Same after that exercise was done, so you had to drive back to Albertine.
That's correct, my lord.
Mase ngiqedile niyena buyela eAlbertine uthi yebo iqiniso.
All right. Now I'm concerned about, you said you mentioned the rights. When was it inside the motor vehicle before you departed to Phosphorus?
Before we departed, we did mention those rights to him, that you're not being forced to do this thing.
Uthi ke ukhulume ngamalungelo lamalungelo lo bamchazisele nini ngaphambi kokuthi nihambe noma bekukuphi uthi ngaphambi kokuthi sihambe sisase lapha eAlbertine bamtshela ukuthi nawa amalungelo wakho futhi awuphoqelelwa ukuthi uqhubeke ngalento ofuna ukuyenza.
Was it inside the motor vehicle or outside?
They were standing outside.
Bebaphakathi emotweni ngalesikhathi emtshela amalungelo noma bebangaphandle uthi bebame ngaphandle kwemoto.
All right. Before everyone got into the motor vehicle, was it not outside the offices? Was it not outside the offices in Albertine police station?
My lord, I never entered the offices.
Uthumeli ke ngalesikhathi ekhuluma ummangalelo oqala bekungasi ngaphandle kwama office. Phoyisa liphendula lethi angizange mina ngene ema-officeini Nkosi yenkantolo.
And it's procedural that, as you were reading from that pro forma, that an interview was conducted before accused number 1 was taken to your motor vehicle. Can you dispute that? Or it's a common practice?
That is according to procedure, my lord.
Uthi imigomo isho njalo ithi ngaphambi kokuthi athathwe uyaye ahlonywe imibuzo umsolwa uthi yebo.
So in such a common practice, it would be prudent as well to explain the rights of the person, whether you were inside or outside, but it's a common and general practice that you would explain the rights of the accused.
That is correct, my lord.
Futhi ke nangaphambi kokuthi kwenziwe noma yini umthetho vele ukuthi amalungelo womangalelwa anikwe wona uthi yebo iqiniso.
Yes, according to Colonel Khatebe, he said he explained such rights inside the office, room 31, if I'm not mistaken, in Albertine Police Station.
I wasn't present when those rights were read to him, my lord.
Yes, I'm putting to you that this is what Colonel Khatebe said. I don't say you were present or not. I'm just putting to you that Colonel Khatebe said he explained such rights to accused number 2.
I agree.
Muthi ngiyakwazisa ukuthi uKenneth Hadebe naye ushilo ukuthi amalungelo ummangalelwa ngingamchazisela wona sisase phakathi egumbini u31.
And I believe after he has explained such rights to the accused person, before the completion of the form, accused must have understood what was conveyed to him by Colonel Khatebe.
That is correct, my lord.
Uthi ngaphambi kokuthi amafomu angagcwaliswa bese kwenzwa zonke izinto ummangalelwa kwamele ukuthi kube uzwisisile yonke into ebekade amchazisela yona uthi yebo iqiniso.
All right. From your experience and from your logical point of view, even common sense dictates, what could be the reason for Colonel Khatebe to repeat such rights for the second time to the accused when you were present?
My lord, such practice you have to do it because a person can change his mind at any time.
Manje kusuka kulwazi lwakho nobuchwepheshe bakho kungani uKenneth Hadebe aye wafanele ukuthi achaze amalungelo futhi uthi kwamele uwachaze futhi ngoba umuntu angahle aphenduke athi awumchaziselanga amalungelo akhe.
All right. At Phosphorus, prior to the pointing of a particular place, was such right explained again?
Are you referring to when they were outside the vehicle after we were stopped at the point?
No. You reach your destination of ramping from entry to into Phosphorus, where he said you can take him to that place so he will be able to direct you. My question is, at that time when he said now I'll be able to direct you, were such rights further informed?
Yeah, that is what I said before, my lord, that when after I've stopped to inform Hadebe that we were there, he informed him again to say, that's what he asked.
Buza ke ukuthi ithema sesenifika la uthe ummangalelwa kula ayiqalise kanjela ukuthi niqhubeka kanjani amalungelo ayewachazwa futhi na uthi into engiyishilo ukuthi iphoyisa liyelamtshela ukuthi ndoda ungahle uhoxe uma engabe awusafuna ukuqhubeka wamchazisela namalungelo wakhe.
My lord, before I conclude my cross-examination, may I approach you?
Yes.
Thank you, my lord, for the questions. Sir, there's one thing that I want to push across to you as per the version of accused number 1. He informed me that during his conveyance to Phosphorus, he was not talking to anyone. He was just at all material times he was looking down until he was informed that he must get out of the motor vehicle.
I beg to differ with that version, my lord.
Uthi ke ummeli mangalelo oqala yena uthi kusukela imoto isuka kufikela izofika la iye yamakhona uthi akazange yena atshele umuntu ukuthi jikani ngapha liphume ngapha mangalelwa uthi yena sonke isikhathi bekalibele ebheke phansi lithi iphoyisa mina leyo nto ngiyaphikisana nayo.
Thank you, my lord. That concludes.
Thanks. Mr. Mrs.
I've got no question.
Mamalo?
Thank you, my lord. I have no questions. Thank you.
Number 5. Manye?
My lord, we have no question for this one.
Thank you. Re-examine.
Just one aspect. You testify that upon leaving Alberton, you proceeded on the N3 towards Heidelberg direction and then took the Berry Road off-ramp. Is the correct off-ramp Berry Road?
Yeah, I think that is the state, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I know that area, Peru. Next to Leondale. Is that so, sir?
That's correct.
How long you have Leondale?
It's actually Berry Mare.
Yeah. Okay.
Uyabuza umshushisi ukuthi uthe manilibele nihamba umgwaqo lothathile uBerry Road uthi yebo inkosi yenkantolo nayo ithi ngiyayazi leyo ndawo kudala ngiyihamba umshushisi uthi lo yamgwaqo uBerry Mare.
And judicial notice can be taken of that fact.
Yes, yes. No doubt. Is it disputed, Mr. Ngomezulu, that photos of a pointing out were taken because you didn't traverse that?
My
You
lord,
are saying he was looking down, fine, but there's no traversing of what they were actually going to do there, whether the photos were taken or whether they were not taken. The only evidence which you adduced is that he says your client pointed out two spaces, one on the street next to a house and the other an empty place. But as to whether photos were taken or not, you never traversed it. Am I correct, sir?
that's correct, my
You
lord.
may if you want to. If you don't want to, no problem.
My lord, I did not want to take
Okay, fine.
the witness to that extent.
Yeah, no.
That's correct.
It's just that justice must be seen to be done.
Call please.
Yeah, boy. Is that all, sir?
That's all.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Mr. Valerie.
Inkosi yenkantolo beyikade ichasisela nje umnumzana uNgomezulu ukuthi uyakhumbula ukuthi kunezithombe ezithwebuliwe la ukumangalelwa yena wayekade ekhomba khona awubuzanga ngazo ummeli uthi cha ngicela ukuthi ufakazi lo ngingambuzi ngazo.
Mr. Baroi, what? Are we adjourning?
As a court, please, I was just trying to find out from my learned friends if there was a discussion during the short adjournment. I was just trying to find out if the arrangements are still the same.
What?
Whether the arrangements are still the same that we are adjourning until tomorrow.
Yeah, oh, I see. Is that so?
That is so, my lord.
So, Nomano,
Confirm the arrangements. Thank you.
arrangements tomorrow,
We confirm that.
that's it. Unless I'm dead. Eh? Okay, shall we then adjourn?
Ningasukuma ke bo baba
Until tomorrow 10.
iqala lephekiselwa kusasa ngo 10 o'clock.